All right, January 30th, just got out from the gym, had a very good workout. Now I worked out majority abs because it's ab day, and I missed it yesterday, so I didn't want to not do it. And then I trained a little bit of legs because leg day was a few days ago, and they weren't that sore. Even though I went very hard, they weren't that sore. So I thought I might train them a little bit again to try to catch up on my legs. My legs are kind of underdeveloped. They're not like very small, but they are underdeveloped, I will say that. Anyways, we are going home. Good workout. I didn't film a lot of the workouts because, well, I filmed a couple of them, but none too crazy. Usually I film one set of every exercise I do, but there's a few people there that I didn't want to make awkward. So, topic of today I wanted to talk about, and I'm gonna separate these. I'm gonna start separating these videos instead of doing like the whole day in one video where it's like a 20-30 minute video. I'm just gonna separate them. So I'm gonna have like a gym video, and then I'm gonna have like me in the car talking. Because what I've seen is that my videos are that long, and half of it's me talking in the car, the other half of it is me exercising, and some of it's in the car stuff. So I'm just gonna separate it. But today's subject, love. You know, I'm a firm believer in love is real. Love is a good thing to have, even though if you don't love somebody, you know, you spread love. Because almost every day I pray to God that we may all have the same language, and that language is love. And for us to forgive one another, to forgive our trespasses, just like how you expect God to forgive your trespasses when you go and ask Him for forgiveness. You know? So love is a big thing, and I feel like love is a touchy subject for a lot of people. There's a lot of people who believe in it, are hopeless romantics, you know, or some people just freaking hate it because they hate the world and they don't believe in it or anything like that. And that's how I used to be, really, honestly. And for those who don't know me, I'm Chris, and I've been married for a little over a year now. Just in my 1 year mark in October. We've been dating for a little while too. We've been together for a little while. And over the course of these years, I've learned a bunch of stuff about myself and also love. And one question that I always ask myself before all of this is, what is love? Is it real? And is it real, and is it something that we actually need? Because a lot of people will say that love is a feeling. Some of that, part of that is true. However, it's so much deeper than that. It's so much more than just a feeling, right? Because when you first start dating somebody and you really like them, you really like each other, you feel it. You know what I mean? You feel the love, and you have that. Oh God, this car's trying to pass me. I'm gonna let him go. And you have that, that like want and like that feeling of need, of, oh, I need this person, I need this love, I need to be with them. You know, that's love, yes, at the very beginning, and that's how exactly it was for me, right? And it's so crazy because before, like, when I was with her, I'm still kind of new to it. I'm very new to love. Like, I'm still very new. I'm still learning about myself, what true love actually is. And I'm not saying that we don't have true love. I'm a firm believer that, like, I'm in love with this girl, like, this woman, I should say. And that's one thing I love about her. She's not a girl, she's a woman, okay? She knows what she wants. She has her own opinions. She's open-minded, and she listens to the things that I have to say, and to my, like, how I view things in life. Because me and her, we both obviously had our troubles in life. Everybody does, but we're kind of raised on separate sides of the coin, right? And growing up, right, I was always the chubby kid, the fat kid, right? And I didn't have a serious relationship until like I was freaking, well, I don't know, 19, 20, something like that, when I started selling cars. And the reason why I say serious is because in middle school and high school, they're not really serious. And the hard truth about it is, when I was a fat kid, like, the small relationship I had for like a short amount of time, it's gonna sound really messed up, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? And it's the past, so it doesn't define me anymore. But they were like kind of embarrassed of me, you know what I mean? Kind of embarrassed to know that they were dating me, in a sense, right? So sounds really messed up, but it's the God honest truth. And once COVID hit, and I didn't graduate, I've never graduated high school. And once COVID hit, I had to work and stuff like that. A bunch of stuff happened where I had to work, and I dropped out of high school. Some of it's my fault, no excuses, because I was lacking there, and I didn't. Oh God, this bus, go car. And one thing that I always admired and wanted was to love somebody and to be loved, right? Because I had love growing up, but some of it was like, not gonna lie, kind of neglect, right? And I don't blame my parents for that. My parents raised me to the point where it was really tough love, and that's another separate video I want to talk about too, is tough love. But however, I always wondered what love was and how real love would feel, right? And I was always curious about it, and eventually I got so mad at it because I didn't think I would be the type of person to ever get to feel love and get loved and, you know, be lucky like that. And nowadays with social media, it is luck. Like, if you find like a really good person, it is really lucky, and you have to find the right person at the right time, and etc. So what I've learned is that if you were in the same situation as I was, you weren't doing anything with your life, playing games all day, not bettering yourself as a person, that's what it takes in order for you to find somebody. And I shouldn't say find anybody, because you can't find somebody. You can't find love. Love has to find you at the right specific time. Because what happens is, if God allows you to be at like a low point in your life where you don't even love yourself, and they give you somebody that could potentially be the love of your life, and you don't change because you think you don't need to, then you're just going to mess it up. Then you're going to have that situation where it's like the one that got away, you know? And no matter, and there may be a small chance of you actually getting back together with that person if you do better yourself, but nowadays you shouldn't take that chance. And that's what I realized with my situation, is that I had to stop searching for love, you know? I had to stop searching for love. I had to focus on myself, because one day I just looked in the mirror. My grandparents passed away after a year of sorrow and just thinking about that whole sad situation. I looked myself in the mirror one day, and I didn't love myself. I just didn't. I just realized, like, something just hit me like a fucking, excuse my language, like a brick. Like, Chris, you need to get a hold of yourself. You need to better your life. And I was living in my grandparents' home at the time, and I needed to get out of there. That was the first thing that I realized, is that I love my grandparents. They were the ones that raised me. They were my role models and stuff like that. So, and I was so sad, and I was just, me keeping myself there wasn't good for me. Once I moved out, I started bettering myself, and a little over a year in of me going through the hardships, you know, going to the gym every day, focusing on myself, trying to make more money. And it's not even just about the money, it's just overall, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, better yourself as a person. Then I started seeing that, like, God was, I want to say rewarding, but I guess you can call it rewarding, whatever you want to call it. But eventually I did meet my ex, and my sister introduced me to her, and we started going out and stuff like that, and I liked her. But eventually she started getting weird, you know, she started acting weird, saying that I was going too fast. But there might have been some truth to that. I don't feel like I was. Maybe to her, I don't know, it's just our both opinions. But started acting really weird, and said she needed space, and nowadays when people say they need space, it's just like, you know what I mean? The hard truth is that they don't really like you, and they might have found somebody else. And at the time, I was so like I was so into myself to where like I couldn't wait. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna wait for anybody. I'm not. Like, I'm trying to better myself, and I don't have the time to think about that. And she was also kind of holding me back. I talked to her about what she wanted to do with her life and stuff like that. She wasn't really motivated or anything like that. So at the time when I was dating her, I just whatever it is, basically. I put it to the side, and I didn't pay attention to any mind, because again, you know, I wanted love. But I think God put her in my life to show me what isn't love, right? And then shortly after, I met my wife, and we started talking, and we hit it off super well, super fast. And now fast forward, now we're married and stuff like that. But he put her in my life to show me what love isn't, and then he put my wife in my life to show me what love is. And what love is not a feeling. It's not like, oh, like a happily ever after. Some people may argue, and I think as well too, I got my happily ever after. However, I still got the full rest of my life. I'm 24. I still get the whole rest of my life to live with her. And what love is realizing that one day you guys are going to be old. You guys are going to not make love anymore eventually, because you're too old. You can't really move that much. It's a hard truth that you can't, you know, you can't do things when you were younger. And love is realizing that you both are going to go through hardships in your life, that you have to stick it out together, that you are comfortable sticking it out together. And that's what I am, is I'm comfortable knowing that if I ever go through a hardship in my life, that she's going to be the one behind me, that she's going to be the one to help me get through that. And I can confidently say she will stay with me no matter what. No matter what I go through, she will stay with me. And I can confidently say that I feel the same way about her, that no matter what she goes through, I will constantly be there for her no matter what. No matter what fights, no matter what may happen, you realizing that that's love. That is love. Because what happens is, if you go just based off a feeling, eventually that feeling is going to go away pretty quickly, and you're not going to feel that same way anymore, and you're going to want to move on to other people. That's not love. It's like lust. One of the most deadly sins is like lust and looking for love, and that's what looking for love is. You can't look for love. Love has to find you. Love is also not being selfish, right? And I'm still focusing on, not focusing, but I'm trying to adjust myself to this. And another thing is, like, you can't be selfish. And what I mean by that is what I'm trying to accomplish is, for both of us, I don't want us to need each other. I know that's a weird thing to say, but I don't want us to need each other, because that's selfish. I want us to want each other. Now, what I mean by that is if you need each other, like let's say I need her. The word I need means that, like, I'm using her for my own benefit, whatever the case may be. Like, I need her to make me feel loved and stuff like that. Versus I want her, and I do want. I honestly, it's both cases. That I feel like I need her and I want her, because, again, you know, I never really felt love, and to me it's like a drug. You know what I mean? And my family is long story short, very addictive personality. So I do feel like I need her, and that's okay. But again, I want us to focus on to where we want each other and we don't need each other, because that's selfish. If we need each other, we're needing each other for our own selfish reasons. I need her to be able to sleep so I can sleep at night. I need her to help me what if she's not there all the time? You know, like, it's sad, but it's true. You never know what life can bring. You know what I mean? I want her to not need me either. You know, I want her to want me. I know it sounds weird to not need somebody that you love, but again, needing is just selfish, and I don't want to be that way with her. You know, it's selfish, and I don't want to be selfish when it comes to her and comes to my own feelings. I'm not going to be selfish when it comes to my own feelings, because again, what love is considering their feelings as well. That's also love. Love is not being selfish for your own feelings. That's not what love is. Love is realizing that you guys are going to go through hardships together, and you have to understand and know that this person is the person that you're comfortable doing that with, and this person is, and being comfortable with the person that you choose. You have to understand and make sure that you're not selfish to where you're only thinking about yourself. And that's the hard truth about love. It really is, you know, and it's hard. And as a 24-year-old person who's been dating her for a little while, or been with her for a little while, and been married for only a year, I'm learning all these things, you know, and I'm realizing all these things. So I still got a long way to go, but that's my take on love, is that real love is not being selfish, and it's not just thinking about yourself. It's also thinking about the other person. Because if you do that, it's going to make your longevity of the relationship better. It's going to make your relationship healthier. And you guys are going to understand what true love is. Because in the future, if you don't follow that, then it's just going to go in shambles. And that's why, and social media is another big reason why, but that's how, like, the reason why men cheat on women is because they feel like their needs are not met. You know? Like, you need her for this situation, you need her for this, you need her for that. And then when she stops giving it to you, or whatever the case may be, that's when you cheat. And that's the hard truth. And the same thing, vice versa as well, too. If the girl's not getting what she needs, then she cheats. You know? It's vice versa. It's the same exact thing for both parties. I'm not favoring anybody, but it's the exact same thing for both parties. And that's why you have to want each other, not need each other. But yeah, I'm almost home. That's my take on love. Very interesting, I know, but I'm still learning, you know. But anyways, 30th, 2 days left in the month. We gotta sell some cars, baby. Let's go. I'm about to go in, say goodbye to my wife because she leaves here soon, and hopefully she has an amazing day, and hopefully I have an amazing day. And yeah, we're gonna kill it today. Everybody have a wonderful day.